DJ Event Planner will change the way you manage and run your business. Streamline all of your procedures and software into one easy-to-manage system. DJ Event Planner, the ultimate online planning tool.
You're tuned in to DJNTV Live with your host, Brian S. Red.
All right, we are back for session number 2 tonight. Thank you for joining us. If you are joining us from our first show tonight, where we got to meet DJ Barr, for a lot of you who haven't gotten to hear him before, or maybe you've just been starting to see his YouTube videos, it's kind of fun to chat with him a little bit tonight. Now, next, we go from someone who's 25 years old to someone who's about 35 years old.
Now, a little older than that. I should bring the microphone down here.
You should. So, for those of you who are wondering, this is the week of Brian S. Red. That's right.
What's going on with that? I never even asked. I'm just on every night.
Yeah, he's like going to be on almost every night this week, but that's okay. Last night, Brian and Howie had just kind of a fun chat time. If you guys are looking for something to kind of listen to and get a chuckle out of, they did a wonderful job with that, and they filled in. So thank you guys for that. Tonight, we're going to have a little topic we're going to talk about. And then Thursday night, we're going to be looking at, which today your post on social media will kind of fit into what we're doing for Thursday, where we're looking at the top 50 songs as picked by Promo Only. So we're going to blame this all on Nick if they bomb, by the way.
All on Nick.
Yeah, this is all Nick's.
It's all about, but Nick knows.
He does.
Nick's a smart guy, he knows, so I don't question that.
Exactly. If these songs are on his list of things, basically they're working somewhere, and we should know them. So we're going to be going through and talking about those songs, and actually in some of the cases it's a specific promo edit that they have on this list. So we're going to be doing this, playing some of these songs, so you guys will be able to hear them during the show. So it might get a little bit longer than our typical show because we want to make sure we hit the songs on this list. So that's Thursday night.
Are you the DJ for the Thursday night show?
Yeah, I'm going to really bring out my DJ skills. Push play.
Okay.
Push pause.
Just asking, so I can be ready in case something weird happens.
Yeah. So I'll have them.
I will be ready regardless.
I'll have them all queued up and such, so that way we can feed everything. So that'll be fun. So tonight, somebody's asking about the tooth. We got to talk about the tooth.
Better. It's better. I feel better today.
Good.
Having a good day.
That is good.
I shouldn't get too cranky and start yelling at people toward the end of the show. But if I do, you know why.
Exactly. It's the tooth. It's the tooth.
This is what it is, honestly. I mean, just before we get into this, I don't mind being a disabled person. I really don't. I can handle it. I can carry around my entire body on half of my body, and I'm totally cool with that. And I got one hand to do every task, and I'm cool with that. But you throw one more thing at me, even if it's the sniffles, I'm all out of sorts. I can't handle another thing. If it's a pain or an injury or a cold, I'm done. So I either have to have all of my capacity or I'm out. So that's my spiel on that. So I get a mulligan every time I get an owie. If I lay down and die because I stub my toe, there's a reason for that. I just can't take one more little thing because
No.
every day I take it all. So that's really how it is. And I appreciate you asking. Thank you.
I'm just posting the link for the YouTube in the Facebook. So if you're in Facebook watching us, that is there.
All right.
So we're going to talk a little bit about the idea of teenage DJs or younger DJs and such, showing some experience and things. But Brian, I want to kind of start out from part of the conversation I was having with Bar. DJ Bar, again, we just finished up, and I think Bar is probably going to be in the chat room if he isn't yet. He probably had to go get himself another energy drink because, the guy's wound up. He wound up pretty tight.
25-year-olds don't need energy drinks.
Yeah, and he's got a big one there. But he was talking about moving from the club, and he went to mobile, and he's struggling with the music and such a little bit, specifically in the rock area. And I kind of got me thinking and such, that my 15-year-old is all of a sudden very interested in DJing, and he's been practicing and things. But the older music is a little bit of a struggle. Let's talk a little bit about that, of how today's young people are going to get familiar with music that they might run into as they're doing events.
Yeah, this is just kind of a how have you lived your life up until this point thing. I think sometimes the best way I can describe it is the way when I think back when I was young, I tried my best to have empathy for my guests, meaning, if I saw somebody who looked like my mom, I would ask myself, what does my mom like? Because she doesn't particularly like what I like. What does mom listen to?
Sure.
Maybe, that helps. And then you got to go back even further, Who do I know who's older and what do they listen to? Music was always a thing for me, though. So I always was thinking about that and thinking about what would work for different people. My brothers and sisters older than me, by 7 to 11 years. What would they like? That's how I did it. And I was able to do it because I was paying attention. But if you weren't paying attention, that's probably what we should be talking about.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's a big thing, is that I know my kids would probably, beyond knowing that mom listens to, I'll make the statement and then I'm going to contradict myself. They'll know that mom listens to Christian music and they know dad listens to other stuff. Now, I would think that because I listen to basically a combination of 70s and 80s things, they don't pay attention. So I get into my 16-year-old's car the other day, and here I'm listening to what he has on, and he has on very loud, is a classic rock station. And it wasn't because he had because he has to have his tape deck thing in there and all these different things wired in. So he didn't have that. He wasn't listening. He was literally, truly listening to the classic rock station as he came home from work, and it's about a 15-minute drive. So the idea that kids don't pay attention, I maybe in my case it was like they pay attention more than I think they do, because when they're doing this all the time, they might actually.
Oh no! It's one thing to be aware of Elvis Presley, or to be aware of, whatever, Michael Jackson or whatever the case might be. It's another thing to understand who's going to want that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the trick. You got to put two and two together. You can't just know who the Beatles are. You got to know who's going to like the Beatles. Yeah, that's the association part I was talking about.
Yeah, and
it's doing the math on it.
And that's a skill as my 16-year-old, when he actually has he filled in at a family wedding, and that was a tough conversation to have, is to let's judge ages a little bit as you're looking around the room. Okay, those are 80-year-olds over there. No, they're 60. Those people are got to be 60. No, those are 40-years. These people are teenagers. No, they're 12.
Right.
It was just so bad. It was like almost intentionally bad in the age game. And from his standpoint, he really struggled in that arena, because he didn't have that point of reference as you're referring to, where he could look and say, oh, 70-year-olds, that's about the age of my grandparents over here, and they really were into the Beatles when they were that age. Right.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. That's, I think, where you do best. And not to talk about how cool we are, but that's why our generation, who's been doing this forever and is still doing it, that's why we've got some pretty strong karate, because we've seen it happen real time. And what's amazing to me is I own music I own music, digital music, for people who aren't alive anymore. That generation of people are dead.
Yeah.
Or they're way too old to come to the party for the most part. I mean, yeah, you might whip out some ink spots here and there for the World War II veteran who happens to be at your party, but how often does that happen? And if it does, is the guy going to dance all night? Probably not. So, yeah, this is where the experience really comes into play, and where the older DJs, if they're paying attention to what's going on right now, they've already paid attention to the old stuff. So they've got a really good perspective on this.
Yeah.
Whereas the younger DJs, they're really cool with now. Right now, they're doing real well. But a lot of them, I think, are starting to kind of come of age. I've been noticing posts on Facebook where people are talking about this being the worst year of music ever.
Yes.
And I'm thinking to myself, well, hold on a minute. Soulja Boy Tell 'Em was 10 years ago. How much worse is that than Cardi B? Or how much worse can Cardi B possibly be than that? They both kind of suck.
Yeah, they weren't.
But the millennials are to the point where it's like, this isn't from me anymore. Well, of course not. Most music is marketed to 16-year-olds. So maybe your time is over. You've already got your classic cuts. Now you've got to start having empathy for the younger people in their music.
Mm-hmm.
And the sad part about it is it sucks just as bad as yours did.
Yes,
it's just as bad.
It's just as bad in a little bit different way.
And you have to approach it the same, You have to look at it like, okay, well, it's not for me, but I understand young people like this, so I'm going to play it for them, which is what I do all the time.
Yep, that's, that way we end up doing that. Just a quick little shout out here. DiscJockeyNews.com/holidays is the link to sign up. We're going to be doing a drawing a little bit later tonight. Tonight's prize for our show, we got a kind of a little bit larger one here. We're going to be doing a Mega Flat Hex Pack from ADJ, from American DJ. This is a 4-pack of the Mega Flat Hex Pars, which are very much like the 5P. Nice little light. Hex, meaning they've got the 6 colors. So you've got UV in that. If you guys got a chance, if you saw that video, I did a hex light the hex pack light against a 5P. Brightness and such in my little test, right there, very equivalent, great colors. And you're going to get a 4-pack.
It's so hard to say that one's brighter than the other. I mean, it is technically, it consumes more watts, but it's,
They looked
same.
looked very, very similar. And again, that is a 4-pack. So you've almost got the uplighting for your DJ area, which is really kind of a cool thing to do. And it's all in one little carry bag, cords all together. So that will be given away a little bit later tonight. So if you haven't signed up, go to DiscJockeyNews.com/holidays. That's plural. And you can get yourself signed up, and we'll do that drawing here in about a little while later.
And you want this. You can do pink now. Oh,
Yes.
Shut up, Ryan Dowdle. What are you messaging me for?
He's
He's sending me new stuff that you guys will find out about tomorrow.
nice.
Secret stuff that's coming in tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. There's going to be a live stream introducing this stuff.
Awesome.
Too. Some things that I've been championing, they're going to be going live.
Very nice.
But no, you can do all your pastel colors. You can do your fun colors with the white, and then you can do, of course, your pinks with UV and red. And everybody wants this. Everybody needs this. This is what you're going to replace your stuff with eventually, is all this hex.
Yeah. The hex is such an awesome addition to your light show.
And the price has arrived. Nobody can even complain about the price.
Bill, you should sign up now if you haven't. If you have already, you're already in the system, and you signing up again and again, it just won't take that. It'll look like it takes it, but it really doesn't. So once you're in, and we'll be pulling from that in just a little bit. So
how we mentioned also with this hex LED, you can do the cool white, which is just the LED white that you used to see, but you can also achieve warm whites by adding amber and even a little bit of red. You can achieve some really cool warm whites, and warm whites are more like what you have in your living room or your home. It's a softer white. So you want hex. Hex is good. Good, yeah.
very good stuff. So, okay. So let's go back to when you and I were first starting out, and our early. I mean, my first DJ gig. I'm going to go back. I would have been 17.
Okay.
17 as a 16, 17-year-old. How old were you about when you did your first?
My first gig period or my first mobile?
The first, well, give us. I think you were in your teens, because you were a young guy.
Yeah, my first gig ever.
Yeah.
I was 13 years old.
Okay. And then when you actually went out and were doing kind of a variety
I
show.
was 17.
17.
Yeah.
Okay.
When I
So
was playing to the masses. I was
okay.
17.
So let's go with that, because the idea I want to continue on is the idea of what our music style was at that time. As I look back, because of the influence of my parents, obviously I knew a lot of the 70s. I knew the 80s music and such. The area in which I had very little clue at that time was country music. Somebody would come up and they would have said, okay, so my country music at that time would have been maybe the Oak Ridge Boys, maybe the Statler Brothers. It was really Conway Twitty. That would have probably
Which
been
is actually a pretty solid foundation.
yeah, but that would
Not
have been
that bad.
about it at that time. I at times I wonder if we had it a little bit easier. Granted, music was harder to find, but we didn't have
You
to
weren't
know.
expected to have everything back then.
Yes, there's where I was going. Is that you weren't expected? They just kind of accepted that. Oh, yeah, you didn't have it because you had to buy everything.
You have a little bit of this and you have a little bit of that.
Yeah.
And what can I find that's close enough to what you're looking for that you may like? That was I guess, the definition of a great music library was to have a little something for everybody, not everything for everyone, which is what it has become.
Yeah, I mean the idea when you have people come up and they'd say, "Hey, what do you have for country?" As an example, and at
Right.
that time it was like, "Oh,
You're gonna rattle off 30 songs, and that's what you have for country.
yeah." Or in my case, I had a shoebox that had a few CDs in it when
Right.
by the time I was going mobile, and it's like, okay, here they are. I got this one and this. Which one?
We were using 45s. I
Yeah.
mean, so it was the section which was 25 to 30 singles, and it was everything from, oh boy, like you say, Oak Ridge Boys, Willie Nelson, Ann Murray, that kind of thing. Charlie Daniels Band, maybe you had that, and Patsy Cline, I believe, ended up in there too. So it was some 50s country, it was some 60s country, it was some current country, but not much, because back then that wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
The country thing didn't hit until the 90s.
Yeah.
But I had for that particular genre, I had the advantage because I don't talk about it much.
Uh-oh.
But
This could be some dirt.
between 1980 and 1983, I lived in Oklahoma. So that was a unique time to be in Oklahoma for a DJ. Reason being is I was very young, but not only is country king there anyway, but this whole wave of country top 40 was happening as well, with Dolly Parton, with Willie Nelson, with Honeysuckle Rose, the movie, with Urban Cowboy with John Travolta. It was just happening. People were talking about, and we're talking about Studio 54 anymore, they were talking about Gillies. So things changed, and I was there to experience it. So I had a little bit of an advantage because I knew the stuff. I'd heard it on the radio.
Sure.
I'd seen people even reacting to it when I used to go roller skating. They would play this stuff. So, the Cotton Eye Joe, whatever. I mean, I got it. So there I had an advantage. But again, I was paying attention. That's where I had the advantage.
Yeah.
I've always had the advantage. I'm always paying attention. If I'm only thinking about what I like, then I can only play to myself, which is what most people do, and that's fine. But as a DJ and going out and doing these types of events, you really have to think about everybody.
Yeah.
But how did I figure it out? That's the question, right?
Yeah, exactly.
How did we figure it out at 17?
How did we figure out, was it the painful, you don't have that song, you suck, and then we bought the song.
From 17 to 18, I forced myself to only work as an assistant DJ. I didn't go out and run a show myself. I really wanted to watch what these other people were doing. It was so important to me.
Sure.
My parents, let's say they're frugal, okay? So every penny counts. Very, very tight people that way. They don't spend money. They're always looking for a way to save. And I knew what we were charging for these events. So in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, wow, got a lot invested here. This is a big deal. I can't go out there and screw it up.
Yes.
So I'm going to watch these people who know a lot more than I do and kind of do what they do and take their cues and pay pay attention to what songs really motivate people. Paradise by the Dashboard Light is the song that I talk about sometimes. My least favorite song in the world, by the way. I would Cardi B it all day long if I didn't have to listen to that song. It would be totally cool with me. I would Soulja Boy it all day long without listening to that song. And it blew my mind that people dance to it. I couldn't see. I still to this day do not understand how someone can hear that song and be motivated to move around and dance on the dance floor. I don't get it. But it's not for me to get. Yep. It's what they like, you know? So I would watch these things. Wow, I would never have guessed to play that. And I would think of other songs. I'm thinking, you know, it's a better song. It's more danceable. Why don't we have that? Well, because that's just how it works. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know why. Because that's why. Just because.
Just because.
But I watched. And it got to the point where I've talked about this before, too, on the show. There was a girl, Kristen, who used to send me out with different people every week so I could kind of get a hold of things. You know, I was going out with guys from all walks of life, anywhere from 5 years older than me to 10 years older than me, which is about what it was back then. Mm-hmm. And all, you know, black, white, didn't matter. I was going out with all these different DJs and learning all these things. And what she would do is progressively put me with worse and worse DJs. So there was this guy, his name was Wally. Wally worked at A.O. Smith, which was the factory that built all the frames for General Motors.
Yeah.
And he was a welder. And I don't think OSHA really cared if you wore a welding mask back then too much. Wally cooked some brain cells and some weld fumes, man. He was not a nicest guy in the world, you know, and he was really strong with his 50s and 60s. That was his thing. But anything beyond 50s and 60s, the man was lost. So what I'd have to do is step in and take over these shows so that we wouldn't ruin them. And that's how I became a DJ, by fixing Wally's mistakes. Mm-hmm. Or guys like Wally, you know. The first guys I'd go out with, they were amazing. And then toward the end of that year, they were worse and worse and worse. So that's how I learned. I didn't know, really, that this is what people liked from experience, some of the stuff. But I saw that this is what they liked. So I went with it. I took everybody's word for it, and I went with it.
See, I think it would be
That's how I figured it out.
I think it'd be really difficult for a young person these days, because if you're going to DJ, you're probably going to do like we did and start kind of maybe in a school situation off and on. And then if you go from that to, well, let's see, I'm not 21, so most likely I can't play in a bar. Weddings, to know what people react to at a wedding, that's probably your biggest thing, as you're referring to, is how will they react? What do I know that they'll react to? Well, in the bar, you can cut your teeth and you can figure out, okay, tonight I'm going to try this song. Oh, it didn't work tonight. Well, I either shelve it or maybe I'll try it again in a different situation. Right. But you have some fudge factor to practice on, and you don't have that when you're jumping into weddings.
Right.
Is that you're basically okay, here you are, and crap, that song flopped. Well, that song flopped too. You can't have two bad songs in a row at a wedding. And
no,
you have issues.
No, it makes it hard.
Yeah.
The heat is on. You say that, and I agree to an extent, but then I'm looking at myself, and I'm not, this isn't an advertisement or anything, but I'm thinking, gee, I am disabled. I'm hauling stuff up and downstairs. It would be really nice to have a roadie. It'd be really nice to have one that just kept their mouth shut and did what I told them to do and didn't ask me a lot of questions. Just stood there and watched me as I DJ. Think about the training that DJ could get for free.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, I might even pay him to do it. So it's out there, but no one wants to do it for a couple different reasons. Either they can't find anybody to take them on, or they talk their way out of it. They just don't stop talking, and they know every damn thing. And you know what? I say that, but I was the same guy when I was your age, so don't take offense to that. I'm not saying I wasn't that guy. I was that guy. But yeah, don't be that guy. Be the quiet one. Be the observant one, and help me.
Yeah. Learn from the experiences around you.
Yeah, and when I'm DJing, just watch me. You want to help me? Run the lights. I'm not doing that. Just watch and pay attention to what's happening. And throw a suggestion out here and there. But yeah, don't ask me in-depth questions about mixing boards or sound or, hey, I'm putting a car stereo in. I don't care. I'm working right now.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be the wet dream, to have a young person who just shut up and helped me and watched. And then once they knew what they were doing, hell, I'd even set them up with gear and stuff and help them out and get them work.
Yeah.
But that's Fantasyland for me. It just is. I haven't found that person, but if I ever did find that person, I would take them on and teach them.
And I don't think we find that person anymore. I mean, again, back when the music collection was so difficult to get, just having the music collection and having decent quality gear. I know there were people who came to work for us just because they wanted to DJ, and this was the only way they really could get into DJ.
Yeah, and today maybe you bring somebody out for 2 gigs, like, yeah, I got it now.
Yeah, goodbye.
They're going to get their own music and go out there and fall on their face, but they know every damn thing.
In some cases, you go and you find out by following their Facebook, it's like, holy cats! One particular person who came with me and was going to look at that, and then she's got this really beautiful big DJ controller thing that she was using. That it's like, holy cats! I wouldn't have expected, but yeah, it was. I've got a credit card. I have my music collection that I've gotten from somewhere, and now I can buy the gear, and I'm a DJ. Yay!
Happens that way.
It does.
But no, I mean, really, this is all about empathy. And right now, what we're talking about with younger DJs is empathy, primarily for the generations that have come before you, and learning that music. But for me, it's still about empathy, but it's about younger people. It's a different kind of empathy.
Yeah. Just kind of following our chat rooms here, we've got folks in both. And we've talked about our first sound system.
Something that you brought up that I thought might be worth mentioning. You were talking about the show that you just did with Bar, and how he's got a really cool niche because he's doing English and Spanish.
Yes.
And people like
there
that.
There we go. I was trying to remember what we talked about. Thank you.
I'm here to help. I'm here to help.
Struggling.
I got your back.
We talked about something that was going to make a good segment.
Yeah. We were going to lead with that, but you went somewhere else. That's okay. I'll bring you back to it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So yeah, in Bar's situation, he has, for those of you who didn't watch the show, because of his YouTube videos, he has a following in his local community, and some of the larger DJ companies have been able to see him perform and realize he's the real deal when it comes to being someone who can actually do what he is doing. And he is a young man who can speak both Spanish and English and knows the music in both areas to an extent. So he becomes a very good bilingual DJ, very sought after, to the point where actually Bar is going to be coming out and working with me next summer out here in Minnesota. And this has become kind of a neat little business addition for him,
right,
where he's working for other companies. And someone had asked him a little bit about, how does that work, as far as he's booking his shows, or he's booking or working with them, and he kind of lamented a little bit that because he's working for all these other companies, he can't quite book the shows by himself like he would like to.
Yeah, I had the same issue with that, with the YouTube videos. When that popped about 10 years ago, I came to a crossroads. Do I run a DJ company full time, or do I do all the subcontract work with the agencies and other companies? And it'll allow me the time where I don't have to market, where I don't have to be on the phone constantly and be in sales meetings constantly. And I went that route. But then a couple of years ago, I just said enough was enough, and I am running a company again, like a legit DJ company. I'm just not working every weekend. Let's raise my prices. But yeah, that happens. You can hit that crossroad. That's how it happened with me.
And I think,
but one thing that I will,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you finish.
No, I was just going to say that one thing that's I found interesting is on my holiday parties. All of my holiday parties are repeat business. And all of my holiday parties want Blanca to be there. Not because Blanca can DJ, but because Blanca can translate requests for me. I have Spanish music. I mean, all kinds. And Blanca is Puerto Rican. She is not Mexican. And most of the folks that are at our company parties that we play at are indeed Mexican. However, she understands the dialect a lot better than I do, and can translate that into spelling for me, because H's become J's, and it gets very confusing, especially when they're very excited and they ask for it very fast. So I might know the song, and I might even know the title of the song or be able to say it, but I'm saying it at about 60 BPM, where they're saying it at about 198 BPM. if that makes sense
It
to you.
makes a lot of sense to me.
She understands that, so she can translate that for me, which is wonderful. And they just like her being there representing, period. If it's just some white dude standing back there, like, crap, another white party. But if Blanca's standing back there, she's, Blanca's mixed. She's not just Puerto Rican.
Mm-hmm.
So if she's sitting back there, it's like, okay, yeah, we're represented too. We like that. So that whole thing is so hot. And the other thing I'll add is that I feel like that the mixed parties is where the most money is anyway, bar. It's just so you know. The Latino parties, most Latino parties, not all, but most Latino parties, it's not going to be as much money. Same thing with any ethnic group you have, where it's strictly that group, because they have somebody in their community who DJs as well.
Okay.
So they can't justify spending the money on you when Jose has all the stuff and he can come and do it for $50 and some food and a beer.
Sure.
Where you're valuable is that you do both. That's the value. Not one or the other, but both. So what you have is so cool. All you got to do, if you want to, all you got to do is go out there and take it. Just take it. Become that guy.
Yeah.
Make everything about bar. Brand it. If you need help with a website, if you need help with some marketing stuff, I got people who will more than be happy to help you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's money right there.
Oh, for sure.
That is okay outside of Los Angeles, because in Los Angeles, a lot of people do this. When you're talking about the Midwest or the East Coast, it gets a little different, I think.
Yeah, it certainly does. I
Yeah,
know
just
English
throwing
and
that out there.
Southernese. Y'all. Okay.
Yeah, I speak that too. A lot of my
Yes.
family does too. If I didn't, I wouldn't know what anyone was saying.
But I think one area that maybe some of the folks might have not caught in our conversation is when he's talking about the amount of time he puts into editing. You mentioned, of course, do I YouTube? Do I be a real DJ? And how do I mix that? Bar is putting in from a weekend gig edit when he's doing a gig log. He's putting in close to 8 hours of edit time into some of these
my
videos.
gosh.
And
Yeah, that's crazy.
and part of it is because he's shooting so much footage, and he's after certain clips, and he's kind of reliving the day as he's going through the clips. And even from my standpoint, when I'm putting up a series of videos where we're comparing two speakers, that series of videos took me to go set the area, get the speakers around, and do all that. You probably had, by the time I'm done with the final edit, there probably was 8 hours. Granted, there's like 10, 12 videos, but there's a lot of time into, and that's not even doing even close to the production level that.
My stuff is always so punk. I don't care, man. My videos go up as fast as I can get them up.
And that's that's what I like. I prefer to
And they're
do that.
short.
I prefer to do
Bars
that.
videos go epic. I can never do that. Not that I'm not able to do it, but if I did what he does, they would come to my house with flaming torches and pitchforks because I'm not being authentic anymore. I'm supposed to be the punk guy. So if I'm anything but the punk guy, they hate it. Even if it's the same exact content, but I spent some time on the editing side and I put some titles in and I put a little screen caption in, they don't like it. They get pissed off at me, but he can do it. So good for you. And his videos are getting mad views.
Yeah.
Great. I just can't do it. They won't let me do it.
Yeah.
But the thing that, early on when I was establishing myself, it was about getting out there and gigging as much as I can, because I need to get those gig logs up. People love the gig logs. So let's give them a lot of things that they love. And then whenever we have a product video or whatever, that's kind of like the commercial in between the gig logs. So I was gigging, twice a week was very normal, like always. If I didn't gig a week, that was really odd. Sometimes I was gigging 3, 4, 5 times a week, sometimes 6 on some weeks. I used to gig 3 times a day sometimes. It depends. Back in the early days, if you go back and look at those old videos, it's like, where are all these gig logs coming from? It was about quantity. I had to get those gig logs in because I had to show people stuff. Now that I'm not out there just doing all these subcontracts, I am booking them myself. And it's a balance out. They kind of like me after all, so it's okay. I don't have to constantly throw them gig logs. I can show them products. I can just talk about weird things and do shows like this, and it's totally cool.
Yep, exactly.
It took a while to get there because I really felt like I needed the gig logs to establish, and kind of it's a credibility thing.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
I mean,
definitely get some
come up and say you're a DJ. Well, prove it. If you're gigging all the time and you're busy, they're respect. It's like, all right, cool. I had to do it, and Bar maybe had to do it his first year or whatever, but he'd probably cool out now. You could probably take a breath and start thinking about booking some of your own events. And when you book those events, you're going to be making 2, 3, 4 times the dose, so you don't got to work as much.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to be better events because you put more into it.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really radical. And you know what you're already getting for these events. You know these agents and other companies are banking on your hard work. I understand they marketed it and they talked on the phone and all that stuff, but most of this is easy money. A lot of it's probably referral too.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I found. So, yeah. How much free ride do you want to give these fools before you go ahead and just kick them out of the car and take the wheel? Well, you don't got to gig as much, like I said. But when you're making more, you don't have to work as much.
For sure. And that's the route that I have decided myself that I've been going the last few years. And there are times where it's really kind of nice because it's like, okay, I can do one show and I have made more than this DJ over here who made the whole month. And then there's times where it's like, gosh, I just got this itch to go DJ tonight.
And that's when you have that cool little bar gig,
mm-hmm.
like a little club gig or whatever.
Yeah.
That's neat stuff to have that and be able to go out and do those things.
Car chases and explosions they want in your videos, Brian.
We do car chases, but you only see a second of it because I drive like a complete maniac.
Yeah. Well, that's on shopping days, but that's another story.
I do those little shots on the way to the gig. Nobody's really seeing how fast the telephone poles are going past.
They're just a blur. Oh. Let's see. So we've got our drawing. We need to get on that drawing.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do, gang, is we're going to take a little break here, and we will get our first drawing, or I should say our drawing for tonight's show, because we're going to be giving away the ADJ, that's the Mega Flat Hex Pack, 4 Hex LED lights in this pack, cords, bag, everything ready to go. And you know what? Actually, I could, if I hustle while this is on, I could actually go over and get one and bring it back here. We could actually.
You should go get one and show them.
I'm going to do that. So
if you don't win it, you got to go out and buy it anyway because it's cool.
Yeah, I'm going to go grab mine, and we'll be right back.
Okay.
I don't
figuring it all out, so I can actually say something intelligent.
Yeah,
about
now we're live now again.
We were live before, weren't we?
We were, and then we went to the sponsor spot.
Really? Because I was talking the whole time, like I was trying to entertain people. I seen all this stuff.
I'm sorry.
You should have told me.
I said
I'm going to go to
right
commercial,
back.
and I'll be right back. We'll be right back.
I was right. You were so focused on talking all
like everybody does on the news. Oh, I'll be right back. Cool. I'll fill the time. So I'm riffing this, man. I'm like, and I'm doing a good job. Oh, hell.
Oh, man. It was probably the most intellectual thing that was going to be said tonight. And I'm sorry.
Yeah, I said some great stuff, too. That's too bad.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. It's all right.
Okay, so the Mega Flat Hex Pack. This is actually the bag right here. It's a nice little road bag. It's got some pockets on the side for cables and such. And then I hit the mouse and I just forwarded. So we got pockets on the side. We've got our little zipper bag, and I stuck the lights back in their plasticky thing. So
5 6-watt hex LEDs per picture.
There we are.
Which gives you a total of, I don't know, gee, what's 5 times 6? 30? 30 watts.
They didn't tell me there would be math.
I know all this stuff because I'm just good. And it's the same casing that you guys have been looking at with the Mega Par profile, going way, way back in the Mega Tri-Par.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same casing. Real nice. It's like a telephone plastic, pretty much indestructible. The other thing cool about it, John's showing you right there, it has what I can only describe as a collapse-proof yoke.
Yes.
So it doesn't go like this, like a giraffe that's been injured, falls on its belly. You can't collapse it,
This
which
is
is nice when you're
as
setting these up
it
for uplighting
goes.
purposes. It's not accidentally going to go. So that's kind of a cool, smart feature that this has.
Yeah.
It's been around for a few years, but yeah, it looks just like a Mega Tri-Par profile, but it's not a Mega Tri-Par profile.
It's got the little feet on it so it can sit. It's got the jacks and such that are your pass-through for your power and your DMX, and it goes.
Yeah, that's another cool thing. If you're running these with cables, you can run your AC and DMX in on one side and your AC and DMX out on the other side. It makes it look nice and neat. Nothing's crisscrossing around or whatever. That's kind of a cool feature as well.
Yeah, I don't have. I was going to say, do I have a IEC cable? There's in the bag here somewhere, and I'm not going to dig one out. So the winner of this drawing will be getting themselves one of these. And what did you say, Brian? These are around $400, I think.
Yeah, under four.
Under four.
Under
okay.
four MAP. That's MAP price.
Because I think when I did the video,
There's a Christmas gift to you. You know, MAP is minimum advertised price. That is not the least amount of money that a company can sell you a product for. So if you see something online and it's MAP all day long at $3.99, $3.99, $3.99, and you want to pay a little less, make a phone call. Call these people and talk to them. Hey, I'm interested in this.
you give
What can you do?
give Ben Stowe a call and say, hey,
Ben, I don't want to pay $3.99.
that's what you just start that conversation out. Whatever he answers, yeah, this is Ben. Yeah, Ben, I don't want
It's
to
too
pay
much.
$3.99.
It's too much.
It's just too stinking much.
Can you throw in shipping? Can you do something for me? Yeah. And so yeah, that's the MAP price of those. It's just under $3. I want to say it's $3.89, but it might be $3.99. I can't remember.
I don't remember.
Still a great value for Hex LED.
But yeah, they're
Great
under
value.
$100 up a piece if you look at it that
Yeah,
way.
well, 99 a piece.
Yeah, per.
And then bag, cables, and remote, it's still gonna end up being under $100 a piece with all the extra stuff.
Okay, so I am going to go through and we do the randomized number thing here. And that gives me 11,743. 11,743, and then we can go correlate that to
Bingo.
a number or name here. And there we are. Okay.
Who won?
Bright Nights Entertainment. Rob Meadows from Bright Light
Cool.
Entertainment. So congratulations, Rob. We'll be getting after the 12 gifts are all done. Then I'll be sending out the emails and such to those winners because I'm finding out that trying to track people down is really much more difficult than I thought it was going to be. So congratulations, Rob. Rob Meadows again from Bright Night Entertainment will be the winner of that. So yay! And then we have one more drawing. Let's see what Kat's going to be. What we're doing with Kat tonight. Just now, I'm kind of curious.
I'm trying to figure out. You go ahead and figure that out. I'm looking at Jimmy's question because Jimmy has a question, and it's kind of a weird one.
He has weird questions sometimes.
Well, it's not a weird one. It's actually a good one. When are they going to use normal AC out? Okay, that's a good question. Let me answer that question for you because that is a good question.
That is a good
There is an
question. Very good
explanation for that. The reason they use the IEC extension out instead of the normal AC out is because these lights are being sold internationally.
Brian, I'm going to go grab
it's
one of
not
those.
like they make.
I know where I have one of those cables. So this time you can riff. I'm going to go grab one of them so we can show everyone what.
Not going to commercial.
No commercial. This is
Okay.
Brian Red riffing while John goes and grabs a cable.
All right, cool. So anyway, yeah, that's the deal. So they're not making a light for the U.S. North American market, and then they're making one for the UK market, and then they're making one for the British market, and then they're making one for the Australian market. That would require several different AC outs because every plug is different, as you know. So because it's an international company, these lights are being sold internationally, and you have multi-voltage in each light, you don't have to do that anymore. The IC style is the way they go with the power extensions. That's why it's like that. I hope I answered your question. They'd be a lot more expensive if they had to make lights for each individual market.
Okay. So what I did is I just grabbed a couple of cables, our standard IEC, which of course is standard plug-in on one side, and it has our funny little.
Yeah,
there we go.
Everything looks like that goes into the lights, but the end that you plug in is going to be different for every market.
And this is the one.
There's the extension, and that's going to be identical for every single market out there. You're not going to have one that has, several different plug styles on it. Every market can do the same IEC extension.
Now, what's kind of neat about these is I didn't start getting into these until probably last spring, maybe over the winter.
Okay.
I started I picked up a bunch of 3-foot jumpers. Then I picked up some 10-foot. I guess maybe it was longer ago than that, but in the last couple of years. Mm-hmm. And then it's because you can do that and extend a power cord. It's like, it's 3 foot short. Well, I can just add that.
And add a little extension.
Extension. Yep. So there's times where I've got the regular IEC, and it's like, oh, wait a second, I need a 20-foot cord. Well, I'll just use one of those, and then I don't.
Can I just say my dog's bigger than your dog? I don't know. They're going into some crap in the comment section. I just want to say my dog is bigger than your dog. It is.
I was going to say, if
settle down. Yeah. Chevy, Ford, Dodge, Toyota.
That's okay. Howie, I'll take care of the chat room. Howie and Robin. I think Howie and Robin.
Howie going to put the smackdown on. He's such a nice guy, and we gave him the job of the cop.
Yeah, that's
why. How is this going to work?
Yeah, that's why Robin's there. She can.
Robin will smack him around because that's what Robin does. Both like the nicest people in the world. We gave him the job as cops. The hell, I did it too on the video cave. But yeah, that's why. That's why it's like that. So I hope that answered your question.
Speaking of Video Cave, for those of you who are watching that don't know what that is, that's the DJ Video Cave. You guys need to check that out. You can go search for that. Just go search on Facebook DJ Video Cave. You'll find that. If people want to get involved with that or to join that group, Brian, what do they need to do?
Okay, a couple things. If you want to get into the group, understand what the group is. This is a group where you don't type things. You turn on the video camera and you say things to people. You ask questions. You answer questions. You reply to other videos with a video. It's the Video Cave. So if you're not a video person, don't join the Video Cave. The other thing is, when you ask to join, it's best to do it on your PC because they do ask 3 questions to qualify you, just to make sure that you're not, like an Indonesian teenager just clicking on things. Because we don't want to flood the group with just anybody. So we do ask 3 qualifying questions. You must answer all 3 questions before you will get entrance into the DJ Video Cave. For instance, if John Young were to have asked to join the Video Cave and he didn't answer all 3 questions, maybe he answered 1 question or didn't answer any of them, and I looked there and said, oh, that's John Young from Just Checking News. Nick Hahn and Howie Darkstar would say, I don't care who he is or what he owns, he ain't getting in unless he answers the 3 questions, and he'd be denied entrance into the cave.
For those of you wondering, I did not answer any questions because I was before the question.
Because I let him in. I'm that guy.
Before the
I'm a softie. You got to worry about the other people.
The others crack.
The moderators are the bastards. I'm fine. They're going to not let you in, though.
Oh, funny.
That's what it's about. It's going really well. And really soon, if not tonight, maybe tomorrow, we'll have our DJ Video Cave Presents video number 3 to share to the world.
Oh.
It's coming.
I don't.
Put it together. And it would be great if you could get involved with that, John.
I don't even know if I know what this one was because the first one was the first one I did. Did I do something on that one?
I don't remember if you did.
I know
you did.
The second one you were talking about slow jams,
right?
And that one
The third one we're talking about our most memorable experience as a DJ in 2017.
Oh, no, I didn't
30 seconds or less.
I didn't even see this one.
Should I wait to download videos until you put your submission in?
I can do one. I can do one for you.
Perfect. Then I won't do anything until you post. Because I said I was going to close it today, but I might let it run through tomorrow.
I'll do something.
Got some nice submissions.
I'll do something after I'll make myself a note.
It takes 30 seconds of your time.
Yeah, we can do that. We can do that.
Well, I don't want to eat up all Kat's time. She needs some prep time and stuff. I guess she's got something real special coming up.
Yeah, she's got a cool little show she'll be doing, and we'll be back with that in about 10 minutes. So, again, coming up this week, tomorrow night, we're going to have, we've got a couple of shows. I think we may have to bring someone in. Jonathan just messaged a little bit ago that he's really under the weather, so he may not be with me tomorrow night. So the idea right now, we have a 8, 9, and 10 o'clock Eastern show scheduled. We may have to change our middle show. That's where Jonathan Simmons is going to be with me. Then Thursday night, we'll be wrapping up the 12 Gifts of Christmas tomorrow night. Then Thursday night, we'll be back with our picks, or I should say the promo-only's picks from 2017, and we're going to talk about those songs and which ones we think will be a flop, which ones will have some legs and such into 2018.
If you have a problem, you just throw me in again. I don't care. Just tell me what you're doing.
We'll figure out what we'll do.
I always work it out.
We'll figure out what we're doing. Yeah, we got a few things between now and then.
Just let me know.
Yeah, that sounds great, Brian. Thank you guys for being with us. We'll be back in about 10 minutes with Kat from NLFX Pro.